One by one, they turned themselves in. 10 people now face hazing charges, one facing a charge of negligent homicide in the death of an LSU fraternity pledge. Good evening, I'm Tan Trung.
And I'm Natalie Shepard. Karen Swenson will join us in just a few minutes. But tonight, as arrests are made in the case, we are finding out more about what happened to 18-year-old Maxwell Groover with new information in autopsy findings. Jacqueline Quinn begins our coverage now from Baton Rouge. Jacqueline?
Yeah, this is where the nightmare began for Max Groover's family, right there at that fraternity house. But we are finding a lot more information. That is from the coroner's report. That blood alcohol level that they found Max Groover with was 0.495 at 0.4. Physicians say that could be deadly. And now we're also finding out that there was something that led up to this. More details suggesting that he was targeted in this hazing incident that ultimately led to his death.
These are the 10 men who police have arrested in connection with Max Groover's death. All 10 have been charged with hazing. One of them, Matthew Naquin, has also been charged with negligent homicide. From an affidavit, it all began on the night of September 13th. Phi Delta Theta pledges were told to show up to the house for Bible study around 10 p.m. Police say the study consisted of members quizzing pledges and forcing them to drink hard liquor for incorrect answers. And according to the document, Matthew Naquin, Sean Gaunt, and Ryan Isto, 3 of those arrested, led the alleged hazing. We were able to speak with Ryan Isto's lawyer shortly after the men turned themselves in.
All the facts are not in. We maintain our innocence at this point. We are not aware of anything that he did to participate in any hazing activities, whatever that may be.
Pledges told police that Naquin was the most aggressive. One of the witnesses told police that Naquin did not like Groover for running late often and wanted to cut him from the fraternity. Another witness says Groover was forced to repeatedly take pulls of 190 proof liquor and punished more than others. Despite that, lawyers for Zachary Hall and for Sean Pennison, who is from Mandeville, both say members were close with each other.
Well, he's very sad about what happened. I mean, who isn't? All right. And that was a fellow fraternity brother of his, and he feels horrible about that. But he had nothing to do with those unfortunate circumstances.
They were all part of a family, and they're all devastated. Whether they're charged with a criminal crime or not, they're all devastated. The other important thing is hazing is not being charged with the murder.
Now, Groover was ultimately left there on that couch that night. Members found him the next morning. They took him to the hospital where he later died. Now, this morning, the LSU president also released a statement saying in part that today's arrest underscores that the ramifications of hazing can be devastating, and he encouraged a healthier culture for LSU students. And we talked to some students here about this development. We'll have more on that coming up at 10. For now, reporting in Baton Rouge, Jacqueline Quinn, Eyewitness News.
Jacqueline, thank you. Our team coverage of the LSU student death continues with Kristen Pierce, who's taking a closer look at the charges the suspects are facing.
10 men arrested in the death of an 18-year-old student in an apparent hazing incident. All of them charged with hazing. One man also charged with negligent homicide.
According to the affidavits, 3 men were more aggressive than the others, and one man, Matthew Naquin, was the most aggressive person. He's been booked on hazing and negligent homicide charges, facing up to 5 years in prison and or up to a $5,000 fine. The rest of the men are all charged with hazing, being named in affidavits as a main or active participant in the hazing incident, and they're also facing a fine and or jail time. The fine would be between $10 and $100, and as far as time behind bars goes, between 10 days and 30 days in jail. And LSU could also take its own action and charge each student with behavioral misconduct. LSU's media relations director says an investigation is underway, so he couldn't comment on the specifics, but he did say the consequences for a code of student conduct violation varies from a warning to expulsion.
If you want to read the affidavits in full, go to our website, wwltv.com. We'll also have more on this in detail coming up tonight at 10. Back to you.
Kristen, thank you. And here's a look at what happens to a person as their blood alcohol level climbs, according to the University of Pennsylvania. At 0.06, your judgment is impaired. At 0.08, you are considered legally drunk. And then between 0.12 and 0.20, you can experience vomiting, balance impairment, and blackout and loss of memory. Now, at 0.3, most people pass out or can even fall into a coma. Over 0.40, death can occur. And again, Max Groover's blood alcohol content was 0.495.